Hi, this is Igor. This is the part 2 of our birds DaVinci Resolve tutorial. Make sure to watch the part 1 because that's where we learn how to make this bird, and in this tutorial we will make a whole flock. Let's begin by adding some light to our 3D scene. I will select the Merge 3D, hit Control Space and type in directional light. I will copy and paste this node to get two directional lights and connect it to the Merge 3D. Let's pull up two viewers and we'll drag the Merge 3D into the left viewer. Let's select the first directional light, go to Transform Controls and move it up and rotate it -90 degrees so the light faces down. The second light I'm going to move down. By the way, note that the actual position of a directional light doesn't make any difference. I just want to pull them away from the bird so I can see what is going on here. We will rotate this light +90 degrees on the x-axis, so it's pointing up. We don't see the effect of the light yet because our renderer is not taking lighting into consideration, so let's enable that. So now we see the lights. I will tint the bottom light blue a little bit because that's the light that's reflecting off the water. And because this bird kind of looks like an albatross to me, I will make the wings darker. And let's see if there's anything to gain by rotating this bottom light some more. We have our basic lighting with two directional lights. To make the flock, we'll need to select the Merge 3D, press Control Space, and start typing duplicate. Duplicate 3D is a tool that will take the geometry and replicate it any number of times. So let's make 6 copies of the bird. However, we have 6 copies lined up on top of one another, so let's give them a little bit of an offset. Something like that. Like this. Now, our birds look like perfectly lined up airplanes in a formation. That's not really what we want. So, on this page of the duplicate node, there are jitter controls. And we will introduce a little bit of a jitter, which is randomness in the positioning. That's starting to look better. But the birds are still in a perfect lockstep. And to fix that, we will introduce 18 frames of time offset. In order to get a little more response from the system, I will drag the duplicate node to the viewer and zoom out to see what our objects look like before the renderer 3D. There's one more thing we'll do. Right-click on the translation jitter, modify with shake, and do the same thing for Z. This will introduce a little bit of random bobbing. Let's go to the modifiers tab and change the values. We'll set the minimum to 1.2 and the maximum to 4. And on the Z offset, maybe we'll do a minimum at 0.2 and maximum at 2. And I'll change the smoothing of both of these parameters to 20 to make it twice as smooth. And push play. Alright. Let's look again at the output of the renderer, and I will use a transform node from our part 1 to put the birds in place. I'll send them back in the distance, maybe lift them up a little higher, and we'll animate the horizontal translation. We'll make them move from frame right to frame left. So here at the beginning I'll mark a keyframe, and then at the end I will move them a little bit to the left so we have some horizontal movement of the flock. And the birds will be pretty sharp when they're rendered, so instead of using motion blur, which is time consuming, I will just add blur at the default 1 unit size. It might be too much, maybe not. We'll see when we composite this over our ocean shot. So let's step up to the edit page. I will lift it up and holding the Alt key, we'll drag out this ocean clip, stretch it out to fill the full length. Okay, maybe I will raise the birds a little higher, so let's step back into the Fusion tab, select the transform, and lift the birds a little higher and go out. And now we'll go to the color corrector and integrate that into the scene a little bit better. We'll get some of the orange glow by raising the orange gain. And do a little bit of blue lift and increase the gamma to simulate aerial perspective. Like that. Let's see full screen what that looks like. The birds look a little sharp still, so we'll go back to the Fusion page and maybe increase that blur to 1.6. See what that does for us. And that's our quick flock of birds. Thank you for watching. Hey, in case you didn't know, I've been making apps for Resolve, and you can find out more about that at metafied.com.